everybody. I'm back. I'm Linda with Pinky Ma's Cakes, Cookies, and Candy. And my cake didn't get completely cold, but I think it's okay for me to frost. So, and I will tell y'all, I knew this wasn't going to make a big cake. So this is a 2-layer. My 2 layers are normally a lot higher than this. I did save the other layer for us. So this is the one I'm going to take over to town. So I frosted in between it with marshmallow frosting. And I'm going to put the cream cheese on top. Thank y'all for coming back on. And I believe Carla's, I texted her and told her I was going to be back on. So she should be on here too. So thank you, Carla. First of all, I'm going to do the little dip the marshmallows. And I just used an 8-ounce bar of Ghirardelli chocolate. The little, I'll show you what I used here. And I just melted it. It's semi-sweet. It's a little 4-ounce bar. And I melted this in the microwave 22 seconds at a time for about 3 or 4 times. Stirred it each time until it was smooth. And that's what this is here. Now, 4 ounces is not very much, but it's going to be enough for what I want to do. And I've got some cute little picks here. I may have to wipe them off. Seems like I might have got a little chocolate on them. And I'm just going to stick the marshmallows down in it and get them coated. I don't really care if I get the bottom coated or not. And I'm going to stick them on this little styrofoam thing here. Just a word to the wise. Before you start doing this, it's going to take a minute to dry. Longer than a minute. Get you some kind of little styrofoam or something to put that in there the wrong way. So I'll have to, I don't know. I think I did this one wrong. Anyway, I'll deal with that. I should have put it in there the other way. Hopefully that'll stay. That will hold them up straight, because if you lay them down, it's going to mess them up. And you don't want them to get messed up. So I'm going to use one without the little decorative ball on it now. And hopefully y'all can see this. Now, you can stick them in the refrigerator if you want them to set quicker than what you need them. You know, if you need them to set real quick, just stick your styrofoam in the refrigerator. You can see I'm not doing the bottom. I'm just doing the top and the sides. Whoops. That didn't get coated good. Now, you can use just a regular marshmallow. It doesn't have to be these little fancy ones. You can just use one out of your regular marshmallow bag if you want to decorate yours with marshmallows. Let's see here. I think I've got a couple more. Just kind of tilt your bowl and just dunk them in there. Now, these are not real uniform, but I don't think that's going to matter. They're just going to know it's a homemade cake. And that's all that matters. I think I'll maybe do one more, maybe not. This one's going to be a little shorter than the others, and I just broke that stick off there. Now, you can save this chocolate and remelt it if you'll just let it harden, and you can pop it out of your container and then wrap it up and save it if you're going to be using it in the next few days. If it's going to be a long time before you use it, we just, you know, I wouldn't suggest saving it. But if you're going to use it, you know, within a reasonable amount of time, you can save it in the refrigerator. Chocolate's kind of messy. Okay, I'm just going to set this aside. In fact, I may set this in your utility room where it's a little cooler and let this set. Now, you don't have to use this brand. You can use any brand you want, or you can melt chocolate chips, or you can melt wafers. Either one you want to do. Now, if this was a bigger cake, I would put straws in it to kind of stabilize it. But it's not a bigger cake, so I'm not even going to put straws in it. I'm just going to leave it like this because I think it's going to be fine. And if you make this cake, I made 3 layers because I made a recipe and a half. And if you make this cake and you want a really big cake or you want a 3-layer, you will need to do a recipe and a half. And the recipe that's posted on our members page is just for 1 recipe. And 1 recipe is only going to make 2 layers, and you can see they're not real big layers. So depending on how many you want to serve and how big a cake you want to make, you can kind of gauge by that. Now normally, if I was making a cake, I would put this in the refrigerator and let it set before I finished it. But I'm not doing this today because I have a feeling this cake will be eaten this afternoon. And for that reason, I don't have to worry about it. It's not just exactly perfect. I didn't talk to her. I texted one of our followers who is working the polls this week. And just because I said the polls, please, no political comments on this page. This is not a political page. But she said they had been so busy, they barely even, she's in a city, she said they barely even had time to eat lunch. So, this is a busy time if anybody is doing anything with that. Now, I am not going to make this fancy. I'm just going to just do a little swirl on it. Not trying to super smooth it or anything like that. I do want to use all of this frosting, so got just a tiny bit more here. Now, if you want to do this, there's combs, and I have all of that you can make different marks on your cake, but you can also do it with just a plain spatula like this. Just turn your turntable and just go up with your spatula, and you'll make just like a little groove thing in it. Not anything super fancy, just, you know, just a little bit on there. Now, I know that this is not going to be set exactly the way I want to, but I think what I'm going to do is just take this in there, set it in the refrigerator just a minute, and I'll frost the single layer. And by that time, maybe these You don't never realize how much you move when you're making a cake. You move a lot, and especially if you're doing it by yourself, it's kind of funny. I'm going to frost this single layer, and that's what I'm going to cut and taste of it. So I've got to get the layer out of here. It's on my cake racks. This cake is still just a tad warm, but I'm just gonna turn this upside down and hopefully get it somewhat centered. It's a really good cake. It's just an old-fashioned chocolate cake, like crumbs. When you crumb coat something, you get rid of those crumbs. Now, I'm not putting simple syrup on this because this is a very moist cake, and I think that it doesn't need it. So I'm not putting any simple syrup on it. And I'm going to have some frosting left because I used that cream cheese frosting because I wanted to use it. I used to make, when I was baking, I would make, a lot of times I would have an extra layer left, and it was a big layer, and I would frost that and just put it on Facebook, and the first person that saw that it was for sale, then they'd grab it and I'd take it over there and deliver it to them. This is a really good frosting. If y'all have never made marshmallow buttercream before, you should try it. And it's just a little bit different than regular buttercream because it has that marshmallow cream in it. And you know, a lot of people, especially if it's just 2 people in the family, they don't want a big cake. So a 1-layer cake would be perfect. Like if you made this cake and you did a batch and a half, and you just did a 2-layer for your house, and then there was somebody that you wanted to take the extra layer to, then that would be the perfect size cake to just take to just 1 or 2 or 3 people, because it's actually a pretty big piece of cake. Now I'm not doing anything special to this. I'm just gonna do it like that. And I'm going to get a knife and cut it and taste of it and see what we think. I'm not cutting a big piece because I know I'm going to only eat a bite or 2 of it. So I'm just going to cut a small piece. But you can easily get 8 slices out of this cake. And because it is rich, that's really a nice size piece. Even just cutting it in 8 slices. I'm just going to cut a very small piece here. Oops, I dropped it. See how pretty it looks? Thank you, Jesus. I didn't get it on the plate very good. But you can see that marshmallow cream. It looks so good. And this actually is not a big layer, But if you really wanted to, you could actually split this layer. Thank you, Jesus. Let's try it and see what it tastes like. Mm-hmm. It is so soft and moist. The cake is. And that marshmallow frosting is absolutely delicious. So I hope that y'all will try this. I'm not through. I'm fixing to go get that the other cake. I know it hadn't had long in the refrigerator, but I'm going to take it out and put the little marshmallows back on there. I'll have to clean up that board a little bit. It did set just a tiny bit, not much, but it did set a little. It really needs to set in the refrigerator for, at least half an hour for it to set good. But and I'm going to have to push these down in the cake because that cake box I have is not very tall. So let's see if we can. I don't know exactly how to do this because these little marshmallows haven't set good yet. I'm not putting a border or anything on this. I'm just putting these on top. And I'll put one in the middle. Whoops, that one fell down. Well, we'll just leave it laying down since it fell down. I guess that one's gonna lay down too. Now I gotta get this chocolate off my hands. Chocolate is very messy, but it sure is good. So I think I'm gonna see if I can maybe push this down with not sure if I can get this pushed down or not, but I'm going to see if I can. I'm just going to cover those toothpicks up there so they're not showing. It's definitely not going to win no decorating contest, but that's all I'm going to do to it. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to stick it back in the refrigerator for just a few minutes and let it set just a pinch before I run it over to town. So, I thank y'all so much for jumping back on and watching me. I may sprinkle a few little chocolate chips on top of that. I'm not sure if I will or not. I don't have any chocolate to shave on it. If I did, I would shave some chocolate on the top. I've got some in the freezer, but it's frozen. So I think I'm probably just going to leave it like it is. Thank y'all again so much for coming back on. I will be cooking tomorrow here. Mary will be with me, Lord willing. And I am making a really good fall dish. It's something that we love, and our family loves it, and I think that y'all will too. We've made it before, but it's been a long time, so y'all be sure to join tomorrow at 10 o'clock Central Time. And in the meantime, be sure to be kind. Always count your blessings and keep a smile on your face. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.